Back in 24 days, FIFA World Cup kicks off, and 48 teams will compete for one of the most coveted trophies in the world. And this morning, the author of How to Watch Soccer Like a Genius, Nick Green, joins us with a unique look into the most popular sport in the world. Nick, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, we're excited to learn a little bit more about this book. This book is an exploration of soccer, but in a different way, right? So you talked to some unique people for this, like a turf manager, an expert of color theory, and a landscape historian. What was the most interesting thing you learned after talking to the variety of those different people?
Yeah, and that was just for the chapter on grass. My trick is I like to interview and talk to smart people so I can put their thoughts and their quotes in the book and make me look smarter than I am. But for that one, I learned all about just the painstaking process of getting the grass to be perfect for the World Cup. Because at the highest level, they only play soccer on real natural grass at a very specific length, 23 millimeters about. And for example, in the 2022 Qatar World Cup, they grew all the grass for that World Cup in America, in Georgia, and shipped it in the bellies of jumbo jets for months and months to thousands and thousands of pounds, was sent to Qatar and regrown there and installed in those venues. So, yeah, the grass you're going to see at this World Cup is a lot of time and a lot of money went into perfecting it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love to say grass is more fun and at least better on my knees playing growing up. Turf versus grass, no question grass. Now, did you play growing up? Do you have a background in soccer, or are you just kind of an amateur and wanting to learn more?
I am great at watching soccer. I was terrible at playing soccer growing up. I still play it. I'm still terrible, but I think I've only gotten better at watching. So I try to bring that perspective to the book.
Hey, it's cool that you're out there. You are doing it. So speaking of cool, what's a cool fact you learned about soccer that makes it so different from other sports?
One of my favorite things I learned is that passing was invented. It's the thing that you'll see most on a soccer field during a game. It's the most common act, is a pass from one teammate to the other. But when the game as we know it sort of first rose to popularity, it was primarily played by aristocratic, wealthy men in England, and they weren't used to sharing. As one of them sort of infamously said, I play purely for my own pleasure. And they had the first ever international match was between them and Scotland. And Scotland, the players were smaller, they were slower, they were big underdogs, but they pulled off a shocking draw upset because they decided to pass with each other. The Scottish team was made up of butchers and joiners and tapestry salesmen, guys who were used to sort of sharing and working together, and they stunned the English by passing. So yeah, don't take for granted the passing you see during a game. That was a lot of thought went into that as well.
Oh, and if you can master that at a young age, to pass out of the back and get really precise, it works well. Now, soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world, but not so much in the U.S., and that's not really the case here. So what is the disadvantage or maybe the advantage of that?
It's funny because soccer might not be the most popular sport here, but I look at how much it's grown since, for example, the '94 World Cup, which was here. It's pretty amazing how into the game, especially the younger audiences. And I think having a sort of fresh perspective on the sport and being able to look at it, not just for the things that are great, but also its charming flaws, as I call it. I think, it's good to, if you're not a huge fan and you're not used to the sport, the World Cup's a great place to sort of learn and take it in and gain an appreciation, I'd say.
So World Cup is almost here. It's hard to believe. We've been talking about it for more than 2 years, but what are some tips that you would give someone who is watching soccer for the first time? I mean, this is a great way to take in soccer for the first time.
Yeah, I just let the game wash over you. This is a sport that could not have been invented today. There are no commercial breaks for 45 minutes plus each half. It's the clock goes up. It's a very expansive game. I'd say don't just watch the ball. Watch how the defense lines up when certain players get the ball. Watch players making runs off the ball, what they're doing, and you'll see 22 people on the field, all thinking individually, but trying their best to form a cohesive organism.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is a beautiful game when you can kind of keep your eye on it and see that creativity out there. A lot can happen. Well, thank you so much, Nick. This is going to be a fun World Cup. Do you have someone you're rooting for besides the U.S.?
Gosh, you know what? I don't, and because it's a bigger World Cup and there's 48 teams,
Yeah.
which is more than ever before. I can't wait to see some of the really small nations whose first chance to play. I can't wait to watch that.
All right, we'll say go Underdogs. All right, thank you, Nick, so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you.